My name is Rogers Baloyi. I'm the head of communications at SAHPRA, and I will be facilitating this briefing this morning. At SAHPRA, we take safety, quality, and compliance very seriously, so you can expect today's briefing to be well-checked, evidence-based, and hopefully easier to follow than some of the medical labels that we regulate. This briefing is intended to give you a clear understanding of the recall of some specific batches of Citro-Soda. And we'll talk about what actions have been taken and what it means to the general public, industry, and other stakeholders. Without wasting time, I'm going to introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Witumelo Simete Mokokotlela, to come to the stage to give us the strategic overview of SAHPRA. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are all well this morning. And again, thank you for creating this opportunity for SAHPRA to give feedback on a very important matter that has been taking place in the public. Specifically, this is around the recall of Citro-Soda, which is a product that is manufactured by Adcock Ingram. You will remember that in the last few weeks, you have seen press statements from SAHPRA regarding this product. You've also may have had sight of the interview and the insert that was published on Carte Blanche, wherein we also had an opportunity to respond to some of the findings and the allegations around the facility, specifically the Clayville site of Adcock Ingram. Before I can just confirm this recall, I think it's important that the public understands what the role of the regulator is. Many of you became familiar with the regulator during the times of COVID, wherein we engaged with you through numerous platforms around the safety, quality, and efficacy of COVID vaccines, therapies, as well as testing devices. And we continue to implement that mandate throughout all the health products that we regulate. As SAHPRA, our mandate is to ensure that every single health product that you either consume or that is utilized to make a diagnostic decision has been regulated by the regulatory authority, being SAHPRA for South Africa. It is to ensure that those products are of good quality, that they are safe, and that they are effective, and in the case of medical devices, that they perform as they intended to. As indicated, we perform this work for medicines, for vaccines, for medical devices, radiation-emitting products, as well as in vitro diagnostic tests. As a country, it is important that we uphold our mandate as SAHPRA. It is important that we ensure that the public has confidence in the regulator. And when you see the regulator implementing actions such as recalls, it should give the public confidence that we are acting as per our mandate. While it's not the subject of today, but you will remember over the last few months, there's several products that we've had to issue recalls. At some point, we had to recall the Yaz contraceptive. At some point, we had to recall the Andolex spray. And so we continue to operate in that manner. And this action that we're taking in this time is not unique. This is an action that says the regulatory authority became aware of manufacturing non-compliances and it acted on those compliances. It indicates that when the regulator became aware and was provided with details of where this non-compliance was taking place, we acted swiftly. And so we would like to urge the public that as part of the country, as citizens of the country, and as those who consume these products, please do alert us of any quality defects that you encounter with any health product available in the country. Please do inform us when you have any adverse drug reactions so that we can then effect our mandate and act upon this. With this background shared, I'd like to confirm that indeed there is a recall of the Citro-Soda product, specifically the product that is manufactured at the Clayville site. We would like to give the public assurance that we have gone into the facility, we have evaluated their manufacturing practices, and that is what has led us to this decision. My colleagues will provide a bit more detail to give you comfort as a public that as a regulatory authority, we have indeed effected our mandate. It is important for us as a regulator that we reassure you as the public that if we are provided with information, if we come into any details that indicates that there is any compromise of the quality, safety, or efficacy of health products, that we will act and we will do so decisively. Ours is to also ensure that we are transparent with the public. And so we urge you, as I said earlier, to please continue to share any information with us. I'd like to conclude by saying that as a regulator, our mandate is to ensure that we check compliance. Once these health facilities are licensed by us, we go to these facilities periodically as per our guidelines, and we check that they remain to be compliant. However, we're not the ones who drive compliance. We're not the ones to improve compliance. It is incumbent on those that are licensed to ensure that they comply. And in the event that we become aware that they are not compliant, that is when we will act. And so again, as the public, you are our ears, you are our eyes, you're the ones that are consuming these products. Please do let us know wherein you are not satisfied either with the quality, the safety, or the efficacy of these products. Thank you. I'm now going to hand over to our head of inspectorate, Ms. Lebogang. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, the members of the media. My name is Lebu, as the CEO has introduced me, and I'm responsible for inspections at SAHPRA and regulatory compliance. So I'm going to take you through the inspection processes that we implement at SAHPRA for our registered and licensed manufacturers who manufacture our products. And then I'm going to take you through the standard itself that we implement when we do these inspections. And also I'm going to give you an overview of the deficiencies that we identified when we went for an inspection at Adcock Ingram Clayville. Also what we implemented thereafter, after the inspection. Our act is the Medicine and Related Substance Act, and in section 22C(b), it provides that all licensed manufacturers who manufacture medical products should comply to a standard and requirements of good manufacturing practice as determined by the authority, right? So as SAHPRA and inspectors of SAHPRA, we are authorized by legislation to conduct these inspections at the manufacturing sites. And on a normal basis, we will do these inspections every 3 years, right? And we check quality, safety, and efficacy of all the products that are manufactured and licensed by SAHPRA. Therefore, for Adcock Ingram Clayville, when we received a whistleblower notification, and specific to Citro-Soda, because you will note that Adcock Ingram Clayville is a huge manufacturing facility. It has 3 different facilities that manufacture different products. They have a total of about 60 products that they manufacture. So it was important for us to have the specifics of which manufacturing facility is impacted, which line is impacted, which product. Therefore, we went for an inspection on the 24th of Feb 2026 after that specific notification received from the whistleblower. We identified critical deficiencies that I'm going to take you through, and we issued Adcock Ingram with an enforcement action, what we call a market action. So these are actions that the manufacturer is required to implement before they can continue manufacturing the products that they manufacture at the facility. So we call that the market action. So also to make the public understand what is this GMP that we implement or we require the manufacturers to comply to, right? GMP is good manufacturing practice. It is an internationally recognized standard that all product manufacturers, medical product manufacturers should comply to. It's international. Everyone across the world reference this standard. And in South Africa as well, we have the same standard that is harmonized throughout the world. So this standard helps us to monitor compliance with registration requirements. It also helps the regulator to monitor consistency in producing the registered product, right? And this is not our standard. It's not the regulator standard. It's the standard that the manufacturers themselves need to comply to. Because this is a shared responsibility. It's not only the responsibility of SAHPRA. Thirdly, I want to highlight what were these GMP non-compliances or deficiencies, as we call them, that we identified during our inspection in Feb. So we identified, firstly, I won't run through the list, it's a long list, but I will mention the critical deficiencies that we identified. So the first one is metallic and black residues were discovered on cleaned manufacturing equipment, posing a risk of undetected contamination. And that's why the main reason for that recall is that there is contamination on that product because of what we identified during the inspection. Secondly, we also identified the absence of a suitable air handling system to facilitate dust extraction and to prevent contamination. So it is a requirement of GMP that manufacturers should have a suitable air handling system to extract powders when they are manufacturing products, right? So that they control this contamination. Also, we identified that the cleaning procedures were neither consistently implemented nor adequately controlled, rendering them ineffective. And we also observed the presence of accumulated powder residue on manufacturing equipment. And this is a sign of inefficient and insufficient cleaning procedure on cleaned equipment. And we also identified that the product contact surfaces of some of the manufacturing equipment was damaged, some were rusted, and they were poorly maintained. Therefore, these critical deficiencies identified during the inspection at Adcock Ingram Clayville have the potential to produce a product that can significantly harm the patient, or the risk of producing a product which might be harmful to a patient or to the public, right? The fourth point that I want to talk to is what are the batches, manufactured batches that are being recalled. So we have a very long list of batches that are produced by Adcock Ingram, Citro-Soda batches, and this is Citro-Soda Regular. However, you might also be aware of the fact that Citro-Soda has some flavors. So if you go to the market, you will realize that we have Citro-Soda Regular, and we also have Citro-Soda Cranberry. So, as said before, Adcock Ingram is a huge company. It has about 5 manufacturing facilities, and one of their facilities is located in India, in Bangalore. We also regulate and have licensed this facility in India. So this facility in India produces the Citro-Soda cranberry. Hence, we are saying the current recall that we are implementing, it only affects Citro-Soda Regular and only the batches that were produced at Adcock Ingram Clayville, and not the batches that are produced in India. Because the Indian side, we have certified it, we have inspected it before, and it does comply with GMP standards and requirements, and it produces the same. Also to note is the fact that the processes that are implemented at Adcock Ingram Bangalore in India are slightly different from the processes that are implemented at Adcock Ingram. The facility itself is very different, designed differently. The equipment will be different as well. Hence, we are saying the focus of this inspection is all the batches that are produced by Adcock Ingram Clayville, and the batches have been listed on our notification. Then lastly, why are we only focusing on Citro-Soda? Because I said before, Adcock Ingram produces a list of products, right? So Adcock Ingram being a big manufacturing site, they have dedicated lines, manufacturing lines. And the focus of this inspection that we conducted was on Citro-Soda line. So hence, the recall is only impacting Citro-Soda Regular batches and not any other product that is manufactured by Adcock Ingram. I think that's my last point. I will hand over to my colleague, Ms. Mohadi Fafudi, and she will show you what product is this Citro-Soda, and she will take you through the regulatory compliance processes that we've implemented at SAHPRA. Thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you very much for attending this session and giving us the opportunity to give you information about the details of the recall. I am the Manager Regulatory Compliance. My unit is responsible for market surveillance and control activities. So we are the enforcement division. So I have with me here the Citro-Soda, different types of the packaging that is affected. So I will start with the 30 by 4 gram sachet. So the public must look at the top. At the top here, you can see the batch number is indicated here. So we have only recalled the batch numbers that start with C of the regular Citro-Soda. All regular Citro-Soda with batch that starts with C, which are also listed on the recall notice, are the ones that are affected. So, and then for the bottles, so they must look at the bottle. Okay, for the bottles, which is the 60 gram and the 120 gram, batch numbers, as Lebogang has said, are not affected, that are manufactured outside the Clayville facility. Okay, so in what empowers us to issue recalls as the regulator, the Medicines and Related Substances Act, Section 19, provides for how we implement the recalls. It states that no person shall sell any medicines unless it complies with the prescribed conditions. And further to the Act, we've got Section 49, which speaks about the investigations, which my unit most of the time enforces. So as Lebogang said, then following the investigation, a regulatory decision was made
and following several engagement, and Section 49 also make provision. Regulation 49 also make provision for recalls. It says the authority may recall the medicine if it's suspected or found not to comply with the requirements of the Act. In this instance, it's GMP compliance. So, and we decided to recall in terms of our guideline that states the different types of recalls, and it is class 2 recall and type A recall. So what does this classification mean? These are quality defects that led to safety concerns, and we reached a conclusion in line with our guidelines to protect the public. And class 2, these are for medicines that possibly could cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health problems or mistreatment. And you have heard what we found, and therefore chemical or physical contamination or significant impurities, they constitute recall class 2 if the condition can be reversible. And this could cause illness or mistreatment, but they are not severe or life-threatening. So in this instance, because this was widely known already, we also have to issue a rapid alert because there are also export markets. So, and the rapid alert is to ensure that all who are affected would know and know what to do. And the type of recall speaks about the distribution. So this, as you know, Citro-Soda can be bought in the front shop, in the medical facilities, or in retail outlets. We need to ensure that everyone knows who's affected. So this recall is designed to reach all the suppliers at all distribution points, wholesalers, hospitals, pharmacies, facilities like clinics, and also your retail establishment at large. So the public needs to also note that this is not a withdrawal of a product, but it's a recall of batches that do not comply. And these can be returned to the nearest facilities, whether it's a health facility or a retail facility. Otherwise, they can contact Adcock Ingram. The contact details are available also on our website, where people want to reach out to the company. As SAHPRA regulatory compliance, we will monitor this recall up until all the batches have been recalled and they have been destroyed. And we will also monitor compliance of the site up until they have satisfactorily addressed their corrective actions and the preventative actions that are required, that were also prescribed. So we will continuously make sure that products that are in the market are of quality, safety, and efficacy through our compliance unit, and we are committed to ensure that all that is reported of substandards or falsified medical products, we will take action. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Without wasting time, we're gonna go into questions and answers. Please just raise your hand and I will guide the discussion and direct the questions to the relevant speaker. Thank you. I see Zola.
Sholana here from Newsroom Africa. I wanted, maybe I might have missed this part. I wanted to find out, have you identified worst case health risks to consumers, such as, irritation or any long-term harm? And the second question will be, have there been any reported adverse events or hospitalizations linked to this particular product? And I also heard that you discovered this via a whistleblower. So I want to find out, how often do you conduct your routine inspections for such manufacturers? Thank you.
Thank you, Zola. Anyone in the room? Yes.
Harry Viti from Carte Blanche. With regards to the whistleblower, presumably that would be Carte Blanche. And so for 5 months after Carte Blanche alerted SAHPRA to the critical deficiencies or potential non-compliances, what did SAHPRA do? Because it appears as though only after our broadcast, SAHPRA then conducted an audit and established and confirmed exactly what we had alerted SAHPRA to in the first place. So the question is, can SAHPRA be trusted with public safety? And does SAHPRA as the regulator need to be regulated? In addition, why weren't the risks to customer safety picked up during the first audit? It brings into question the quality of SAHPRA's audit in the first place. All the non-conformances that were listed today were exactly what we alerted SAHPRA to in the first place. It's highly questionable that SAHPRA acts decisively as indicated. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Anyone in the room? Okay, I think I will hand over to the panelists to answer the questions. CEO, you wanna?
Do we come there?
Yeah.
There's no one there.
Yeah.
Thank you both for your questions. So I'll take some of the questions, then my colleagues will come in. In terms of the question from Newsroom around the ADRs, now I must indicate that we have been checking our database quite regularly. There has not been any adverse drug reactions reported. Even post this matter being aired on Carte Blanche, we haven't received any. And so we continue to urge the public that if they do feel any adverse reactions to the specific products that my colleague has demonstrated, please do report this to SAHPRA. Our press statement does have reference to the link that one can utilize, but similarly, the Adcock Ingram press release on this recall provides the details. So we urge the public to do so. And then on the second set of questions from Carte Blanche, I think it's important that we correct the facts. It's important that the public has the facts of what happened, right? So firstly, the whistleblower was not Carte Blanche. The whistleblower was an individual who provided us this information through our whistleblowing platform. As indicated, as a regulator, we have a platform open to the public where individuals can report these matters to us. And we get these quite regularly and periodically, and we address them. So that's the first correct information. Secondly, that whistleblowing note did not have the detail that is required. And I am going to make reference to what we said when we were on Carte Blanche, because we're an organization that wants to ensure that we're transparent. As indicated when we were representing ourselves on the Carte Blanche interview, that the whistleblowing did not provide detail. We have outsourced the service, and we requested through the service provider that if there are mechanisms that they can utilize to help us to get information, please, if they can give us more information. And that didn't come forth. As Lebo has indicated, Adcock has 5 manufacturing sites, each of these varying at a range of about 10,000 square meters. So this is large. So those of you who are in the public that conduct audits, you will know that you pick a sample. There's no ways that an audit will look at every single element of what is manufactured. And I know many of us, our organizations do get audited, and therefore you would appreciate that. So when we have then a whistleblowing that is not very specific, we go to the site. We don't send our GMP inspectors, we send our regulatory compliance inspectors, as Daphne has made reference. These individuals went to the site after the whistleblowing, and Daphne can provide maybe specific details, but I think within a week, of receiving the whistleblowing, we went to the site on our own after receiving the whistleblowing, investigated, and we couldn't find any non-compliance that were critical. There were non-compliances, however, they were minor. We provided the report to Adcock, and they had to deal with that. This is what we also communicated in our initial press statement on this matter. This is also what we communicated in 2025 when Carte Blanche reached out to us, and we said, Carte Blanche, we're aware of the whistleblowing. However, please provide us detail, because it seems as though you have more detail that can enable us to do a more thorough investigation. That never came through from Carte Blanche. And so when the information and the detail that we saw, when Carte Blanche aired that story where they provided us details exactly which facility, where, what was happening, that enabled us to go and then look at the specific issues. I must indicate that for us as a regulator, our eyes are not always everywhere. So hence we have whistleblowing platforms, hence we have mechanisms so that the public can report to us specifically. So for us, when we then see the details from Carte Blanche, we take it as another mechanism of details being reported to the authority. We're agnostic around where details come from. What we require is a level of detail that ensures that we can be very specific with our inspection. So that is what transpired, and hence we are where we are today, because when we had the detail required, we were able to act decisively. And I will say, as the authority, and I think it's important that we're careful around how we treat this matter. The public needs to have confidence in every single health product that's available. As I've indicated, if you look at the SAHPRA website, you will find several recalls that we've issued over many years, because that is our role. I'll make an example. Some of you drive vehicles, right? Wherein there are recalls, because that's how manufacturing works. If you manufacture a product and you find out at a point that there's a defect, you have to act. And so what we're doing is not out of the ordinary. When we become aware of a matter, we deal with it, and I will say, as the head of the authority, we have dealt with it decisively. And I want to give the public confidence. Have a look at the products we've recalled in the past. Unsolicited. We never even were called to shows like Carte Blanche, etc. We found out what the problem was. We dealt with it. We had webinars around it. So we should not let this one matter, wherein the regulator did not have adequate detail, cloud our view of the regulator, cloud our confidence. You should ask us. You should ask us the right questions. Who regulates us? You should. You should wonder, are we doing what we're supposed to do? But I can give you confidence today because of how we have acted in the past and how we're acting today and the transparency that we're coming forth with, to say this is a regulator wherein the safety of the public is critical. Many of you today, when you woke up, you took some medication. You may take some later. Many of you did not wonder whether that medication is safe or quality, because you have a trusted regulatory authority. So in terms of why did we not pick these up in the past, I've alluded to that. We didn't have the required detail. Who regulates us? We're part of a global regulatory community, and my team have also alluded to that. GMP inspection is guided globally. We're members of global regulatory platforms. This recall around Citro-Soda, we had to communicate it to other countries where this product is exported to. So this demonstrates that we are a regulator that takes safety seriously. And now I'm going to hand over to Lebo to address some of the questions.
Thanks, CEO, and thanks for the questions. How often do we inspect manufacturers of our products? So I did indicate that our manufacturers, on a routine basis, we inspect them every other 3 years. So every 3 years we go back and do inspections. And this is an international standard. It's not only a SAHPRA standard. Internationally, if you look at your US FDA, the most popular authority, they will implement the same timeline, right? However, let me take you through the timelines, because I also said we are dealing with a very massive site here, a very complex manufacturing facility. So we didn't only wait for 3 years in the Adcock Ingram case, because the facility is big. It requires a different approach, right? So in 2021, we inspected Adcock Ingram facility, right? Because I said they have 3 manufacturing facilities. They have a high volume liquids manufacturing area. They have a general facility where they produce the Citro-Soda, and they have an eye drop manufacturing facility. So this is a sterile manufacturing facility. So in 2021, we were there inspecting Adcock Ingram. In 2023, we were also at Adcock Ingram inspecting them in August. In 2024, in June, we inspected Adcock Ingram again. October 2024, we went back. We inspected Adcock Ingram. Feb this year, we went back. So if you look at that timeline, it's not ordinary, it's not every other 3 years. So our approach changes because we have to implement a risk-based approach based on the type of facilities that, the facility that is manufacturing the products and how complex the facility is, right? So that is the timeline for these inspections. And why we didn't pick this, these deficiencies, the CEO has addressed that, because when we are doing inspections, and remember, inspections are not, we are not police, we are not the soldiers. We are there not to be punitive. We work with these manufacturing facilities so that they can continuously improve their standards. It's important because they produce products for the public. The public in South Africa are reliant on these products. So it's imperative for the regulator to also work with these facilities, right, to ensure continuous improvement. So we are not there to punish them or to get back at them. So we are there to ensure compliance, right, together with the facilities. And the CEO has addressed the issue of who's regulating us. And to add on it is that SAHPRA is a member of an international organization called the Pharmaceutical Inspection Convention. This is a European organization where all the regulators, including the most popular US FDA, is part of, right? And SAHPRA is the only regulator in Africa who's a member of PICS. The only. Since 2017, we've been, right? So PICS regulates us, they inspect us, they audit us, they make sure that our standards that we implement when we're doing inspections are aligned to international standards. So I think I've addressed all the questions. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, colleagues. I will then now take questions from the virtual platform. I will cross over to you, Ishmael, to read the questions. Thank you.
I will start with questions from Tamaka from Business Day. Can you please elaborate on the potential contaminants in Citro-Soda Regular? Exactly what compounds are you concerned about? And can you explain the risk they pose to consumers? The second question, have you tested any Citro-Soda products made at the Clayville plant for contaminants? And if so, what were your findings? If not, why haven't you done so? The last question from Business Day, what volume of product is affected by the recall? We also have a question from Bernadette Wicks from News 24. Please, can you advise what kind of symptoms or side effects people who consumed the contaminated product may be at risk of developing? That's all for now, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I will ask the panelists to deal with these two sets of questions.
Okay. Thank you for the questions. You said it's Ishmael, right?
Yeah, yes.
So Ishmael, I tried to write as fast as I could. So you'll remind me, right, of the questions that I might miss. and my colleagues will also assist me. So elaborate on the contamination and the risk that these contaminants may pose to the public and to the patient. Okay. So I said initially that we found presence of metal fragments from the manufacturing equipment and some unknown black particles from these manufacturing equipment. So that is not ideal. So these metal fragments were from the manufacturing vessels that are used to manufacture this product. Hence, we're saying you cannot consume a metal and be well after that as a patient, right? So these metals might be harmful to a patient who's seeking medical help. It might be whatever indication that is there on the Citro-Soda. If you consume this together with the Citro-Soda, it might harm the patient, right? And damaged equipment. So one of the GMP standards is that quality must be built into the product and not tested. So we don't test quality, we build quality into the product. So how is this done? For example, we mentioned that some of the deficiencies that we noted was that we had damaged equipment, rusted equipment also. So it just demonstrates to us that quality was not built into this processes of manufacturing Citro-Soda. Hence, we are saying even if you test, you will find what you find, but you cannot rely on testing of the product, right? We also found pieces of damaged conveyor belt when we were inspecting the manufacturing process. So we are then saying that is critical because those pieces, if you cannot account for a piece of a conveyor belt, it might have been that it had ended up inside the product itself. Also, the fact of insufficient cleaning. So when the manufacturers who are manufacturing medical products, when they clean their vessels or manufacturing equipment, they somehow use also detergents. So the process also defined in the GMP guideline is that once you've cleaned, you need to prove that your cleaning is efficient. So we call that cleaning validation. And Adcock Ingram Clayville could not demonstrate that their cleaning method was validated. Hence, we are saying it might have been that the cleaning detergent that was used to clean those vessels and manufacturing equipment might have ended up, some of the traces will end up in the product. So, and that's why we are saying all of these collectively might pose a risk to the public and to the patient who's taking these products because of these unintended substances and contaminants, and will compromise surely the quality, safety, and stability of these products. The other question was, have we tested the product and why? And I think I've answered that. We cannot test because then what? Once we've tested, right? We have evidence, we have enough evidence to demonstrate that there is no quality in these products. They have not demonstrated that the processes they've built quality into the product. So they don't comply to that standard of GMP that requires that they should build quality into the product. Thank you.
Thank you. And with regards to the numbers, so we have exported to the 9 countries in Africa, and then locally it's a lot. So as you know, Citro-Soda, it's a regularly used product. You know, it works as an anti-acid and also as a urine alkalinizer. So, and it's widely used. So it's in tens of thousands of the units that are affected. So what we have said is that all those that have been manufactured from a certain date to date should be recalled. Hence, when I started, I said all the regular Citro-Sodas of the 3 pack sizes I've indicated that all the C batches are recalled. These are in tens of thousands.
Thank you, colleagues, for the comprehensive answers to the questions. Ishmael, I want to cross over to you again, just to check if there's any other question from the virtual platforms. Then we'll also take another round. Okay. Any question from the virtual platforms? Harry, can you? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rogers. So, just in the interest of facts, as indicated, on October 29th, Carte Blanche sent a comprehensive list to SAHPRA, which included non-functioning extractor systems, rusted steam mixer pipe, rusty spray gun, damaged conveyor belts. I mean, I could go on. Algae formation, non-functioning air handling units, motor walls, fracture and peeling paint, faulty ovens. I mean, this list is very comprehensive. We didn't even cover everything. So I think it's important, as SAHPRA indicates that it is being transparent, that it's also transparent with the facts. We gave SAHPRA all the facts, and SAHPRA chose not to partake in an interview in order to clarify and protect the public on the 29th of October 2025. In addition, there's a reference to adequate detail was not available to SAHPRA. Please clarify, because when SAHPRA audited this facility on numerous occasions, that was the detail that was available to it. And then furthermore, I'd like to clarify, because it has been indicated that Adcock's facilities can be 10,000 square meters or whatever, and it has to be targeted. The concern for the public is, what about the other products?
Okay, thanks, Harry, for that question. And I've outlined the timeline of inspections we've conducted at Adcock Ingram, covering the other manufacturing facilities, right? So it's not possible, because most of our inspections, they're about two weeks a week. So we have to be targeted when we do these inspections. And that's why we were there in 21, in 23, in 24 twice, and now in 2026. So we've covered the other products, and we have no concerns about the other products that Adcock Ingram manufactures. Only the Citro-Soda, where we have these findings, and we have evidence that they have not built quality into this product, and hence the contamination of the product. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, for all the comprehensive answers all the time. I think we are nearing the end of the Q&A. Ishmael, I just want to check if there's anything.
Benedict Weeks News 24. He asked, can you please advise what kind of symptoms or side effects people who consume the contaminated products may be at risk of developing? Thank you.
Yeah, again, so we just want to reiterate that we're not sure. We haven't received any ADRs at this point, but also, as Lebo indicated, some of the particulates that we're noting, we're not sure of any of the type of reactions it could have. So ours is to say to the public, if they are feeling any adverse reactions, they have to engage with their healthcare professionals. I think they would be then adequately placed to address. So it's not something that we can speak to at the moment. Apologies.
Okay, thank you. I think that brings us to the end of this media briefing.